Good evening. As I have discussed in the class, the features of fundamental rights, the characteristics of fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution. Article 12 to Article 35. Article 12 to Article 35 of the Indian Constitution deals with fundamental rights. Part 3 of the Indian Constitution deals with fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are available against state action. The very first article of the Fundamental Rights chapter, Article 12, deals with state. Fundamental rights are available against state action. The very important feature of fundamental rights is, when fundamental rights are violated, we can go to court of law. When fundamental rights are violated, we can go to court of law. Article 32. Writ petition can be filed in Supreme Court. Article 226. Writ petition can be filed in High Court. When a fundamental right is violated, we can file a writ petition in Supreme Court under Article 32 or a writ petition in High Court under Article 226. Next point, all fundamental rights are available for citizens. All fundamental rights are available for citizens, but only some are available for non-citizens. For example, Article 14, right to equality, Article 21, right to life, etc. are available to citizens and non-citizens. Whereas Article 16, equal opportunity in public employment, is not available to non-citizen. For example, an American cannot come and write civil services exam in India saying that we have Article 16. Likewise, Article 19, Clause 1, Clause A, freedom of speech and expression as a fundamental right is not available to non-citizens. In the same way, Article 15, prohibition of discrimination is not available to non-citizens. In the same way, Article 29, any section of citizens, cultural and education rights, Article 29 is not available to non-citizens. So, you have to identify whether the word person is there or citizen is there. In the article, if they mention the word citizen, it is available only to citizen. In the article, if they mention the word person, it is available to citizens and non-citizens. And we have 6 fundamental rights. We have 6 fundamental rights. The 7th fundamental right, right to property, has been taken away as fundamental right by 44th Amendment 1978. The 7th fundamental right to property, has been taken away as fundamental right in the year 1978 by 44th Amendment. Very important prelims question and mains question. Citizens cannot waive his fundamental right. WAIVE, waive. WAIVE, that means a citizen cannot say that I don't want fundamental right. I am leaving my fundamental right. I don't want my fundamental right. Like that, citizen cannot say. A citizen cannot waive his fundamental right. And most of the fundamental rights start with a negative statement. Most of the fundamental rights start with a negative statement, like no person shall, the state shall not, like that. So, fundamental rights impose limitations and restrictions on state. They impose negative obligations on the state. Fundamental rights impose restrictions on the state. They impose negative obligations on the state. And during emergency, only during national emergency, not every type of emergency. During national emergency, Article 19 will be automatically suspended. During national emergency, Article 19 will be automatically suspended. Where it was written? It is written in the Constitution in Article 358. It is said in the Constitution in Article 358 that in case of national emergency, Article 19 will be suspended automatically. Remaining fundamental rights, except 2 fundamental rights. See, 2 fundamental rights can never be suspended in any case. Two fundamental rights can never be suspended, Article 20 and Article 21. Even by President's order, Article 20 and Article 21 can never be suspended, even under presidential order. So, remaining fundamental rights can be suspended by presidential order, all or any. So, during national emergency only, remember, during national emergency only, Article 19 will be automatically suspended and two fundamental rights can never be suspended, 20 and 21. Remaining all or any fundamental rights will be suspended by President's order. Apart from that, we have borrowed the idea of fundamental rights from American Constitution, giving constitutional status to fundamental rights. In America, it is called Bill of Rights. In America, it is called Bill of Rights. And fundamental rights from Article 12 to 35. Article 12 defines state, Article 13 defines law, Article 14 to 18 deals with right to equality, Article 19 to 22 deals with right to freedom, Article 23 and 24 deals with right against exploitation, Article 25 to 28 right to freedom of religion, Article 29-30 cultural and educational rights, and Article 32 right to constitutional remedies. As you all know, Part 3 deals with fundamental rights, Part 4 deals with directive principles. And the difference between a fundamental right and directive principle is, if fundamental right is violated, we can go to court. If directive principle is violated, we cannot go to court. Fundamental rights, the idea we have taken from American Constitution. Directive principles, the idea we have taken from Irish Constitution. Fundamental rights, the idea we have taken from American Constitution, and directive principles, the idea we have taken from Irish Constitution. And the most important point about fundamental rights is, the fundamental rights are not absolute. There can be some restrictions on fundamental rights. There can be some qualifications on fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are not absolute. There can be some restrictions on fundamental rights, or there can be some qualifications on fundamental rights. Thank you.